How did Anton Diebe and his family survive on Japan Airlines Flight 516 when their plane collided with a Coast Guard aircraft? Just wonder. You and your family are super excited for a trip, but suddenly you come to know that something bad is about to happen. What would you feel when your plane suddenly started shaking? Just think of it. They felt that they would never reach now. A 17-year-old Anton Diebe, a high school student from Stockholm, was with his family on a trip to Japan to celebrate his father's 50th birthday. Because the seating map was in Japanese, neither Anton nor his family understood that they could not book a seat together. Anton was sitting a few rows back from the plane with his sister, Ella, who was 15 years old, and she had a window seat. Their father, Jonas Diebe, was sitting about 7 rows ahead of them, but their mother, Kristen Diebe, was sitting 2 rows ahead of them. Their journey was beautiful until they arrived. Anton was so excited that they only had 3 minutes to arrive, so he started packing his jacket, but suddenly he leans over and notices that the left side of his face is getting very hot. When he looks out the left side window, he sees smoke and flames all over the left side. Before he knows anything, the plane starts to shake violently as if in great trouble. At the same time, it gets very hot inside and all the lights are shut off. This creates a wave of fear, as even the emergency lights were not visible. Only the light from the fire was visible. The passengers started yelling in Japanese, but Anton couldn't understand anything. He thought a bird had hit the plane, but he didn't know that a collision with another plane occurred by the engine behind the wing. And after a while, the plane was stopped. Then the smoke started to rush into the cabin and smelled like burning. Breathing was also becoming more difficult due to the smell of chemical fumes. The cabin attendant started moving with the help of torchlights, and their father, Jonas Diebe, moved back to the empty seat with his children. Breathing was becoming so difficult that Anton had to protect his nose and mouth with his hoodie. It was very awful, and no one had any idea what was going on or what was going to happen. They were all just waiting for the emergency doors to open so they could all jump out. No one thought that they would have to face this difficulty just minutes before arriving. Suddenly, the emergency doors open and people start screaming again in Japanese. Everyone wanted to run away and save themselves. Seeing the emergency exit doors open, everyone bent down and people started crawling because that was probably the best way to escape. The smoke was spreading everywhere. Anton couldn't see anything in front, but he was moving forward and people were crawling behind him. People didn't even know where they were going. They were just following Anton to save their lives. There was chaos everywhere, and everyone was worried and scared of the situation because these conditions were very sudden for all of them as they were dreaming of reaching their destination. Anton himself had no idea what to do because he had never faced these conditions before in his life. If you think that you may never reach your destination now, then it's heartbreaking. Everything was happening in a hurry because of the commotion everywhere, and Anton was doing the same thing as his father. Jonas crouches in front of Anton, and Anton crawls behind him. Everyone was trying to save their lives, but none of them knew whether what they were doing was right or not. Ella is also following Anton just behind, like other passengers, and their mother is following them somewhere behind. It was a big challenge for Anton and his family to get off the plane in this emergency situation because they had only 3 minutes left to reach their destination. They were all very happy, and none of them had any idea that they had to face the emergency situation. All the people were moving quickly because they wanted to get away from it at all costs. After reaching the ground, people were running away from it as much as possible. People who reached the ground were running blindly, and there was panic everywhere. In this emergency situation, Anton and his family also come out of the plane via an emergency exit and start running away from it as much as possible because the plane was still in a very dangerous condition. Anton's family was running away as fast as they could because they still heard the plane's engine running. The engine of the plane was spreading fire, and big flames of fire surrounded the plane, so in that case, it was nothing short of stupid to stop near the plane. After reaching a safe place, Anton realizes that he is only in the clothes he is wearing and has forgotten all the rest of the trip. but it was not his great loss because his life was safe. On the other hand, Anton's family was completely safe and had carried on their trip to Japan because all of them had their stuff. The accident was very awful for Anton and his family, as they had never faced such a situation before in their lives. Anton felt this emergency situation was unrealistic because his mind was not ready to believe it at all. He thinks it's all just a movie scene, but everyone was very happy after being saved.